Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back. If you watched a couple of my last videos, you know that I mentioned that I live with chronic pain and I've been going to the doctors trying to find a solution or a diagnosis, but everything has been a battle so far. And in this video I thought I would share how I have been coping with all of that. We'll be touching on acupuncture. Been living with chronic pain for as long as I can remember. Of what exactly chronic pain is, we can definitely start by defining it. So my first memories ever of going to the doctors because of pain is when I was about 12 years old. My mom first would take me, but she quickly gave up because the doctors would always come with inconclusive results. So they would always be like, yeah, you know, your daughter, they don't have anything, just make sure they exercise and they'll be good, right? But mind you, doctors would come to that conclusion about me only after what? Seeing me 10 minutes, barely touching me, not giving me any x-rays, not giving me any test, anything, but they would simply be like, you're fine, just exercise, right? But what doctors didn't know about me is that I was a pretty active kid. I did a lot of figure ice skating. I won my school marathon. I was active, you know. I loved swimming. So for a doctor to be like, yeah, just exercise was pretty like, huh? But I'm already doing that and I'm still in pain and I'm 12 years old. So this brings us to the other part of the video where I think it's important for me to bring up race in that and the adultification that Black girls usually face, because I think that's what happened to me as I'm analyzing my own story and then, you know, introspecting and seeing how much racism can clash with my life. Not can clash, how racism clashes with my life and has always been clashing with my life. I think I definitely went through that. So I am tall and I've always been tall. I'm 5'10" right now, but even when I was 12, I think I was already like 5, I don't know, 7 or something, I don't remember, but I have always been tall. And I suspected that also played a role in my identification because I looked older than what I was, but I was still 12 years old, right? An article published in 2019 by Moniz Marie described adultification as a critical element of implicit bias. So when a doctor sees me, they're like, okay, they look more mature, so they'll treat me like I'm not a kid, basically. This brings me to my conclusion about my life. And I think when I was younger, if I was a little white girl, blonde hair, telling a doctor, hey, I'm in pain, I'm suffering, I think they would have approached my situation way differently. I'm just 100% sure of that. Just imagine for a second, let's take a moment and let's imagine a blonde white girl, little white girl, telling a doctor, hey, I'm in pain, and the doctor not doing anything. Nah. And another thing, mind you, that when I was 12, I just came to Canada, right? Like it was my second year in Canada. My mom didn't have the tools to communicate well. It was another culture. Yes, we spoke French, but the French here is very different and our French is different, but like a lot of things were like overlapping each other in my experience. So I was an immigrant kid. I didn't know what to say, what to express. There was a language barrier. I was a Black child. So all of this definitely played a role in the doctors not really listening to me and not validating my pain. So this continued for a while. After a while, I think my mom, she stopped going to the doctors with me because it was always inconclusive, like I said. So my health kind of fell into my own hands. I would take some break into going to the doctors, but then I would always have to go back because the pain would be persistent. Racism in the medical system. Yeah, like you can already know that there's biases in the medical system and not everyone gets treated equally. I think me not getting a diagnosis still today is biggest on the biases of the medical system, period. Like there's nothing else. Like there's literally nothing else. So there's a paper I read by this professor, Huffman Kelly M, on racial biases. Found that it's really hard for Black women and Black people in general to get the medical care that they need. For example, if a Black person is in pain and they're asking the doctors for painkillers, most likely the doctor will say no, but if ever the doctor says yes, the painkillers will be less stronger than the white counterparts. Of course, I'm not really pro, painkillers and opioids because there's a lot of side effects, but I think it's still interesting for us to realize how even when we do get the medication, it's still not as strong and it still doesn't alleviate our pain really. Physicians were more likely to underestimate the pain of Black patients. In my case, that's exactly what happens. Doctors will gaslight me, will downplay my pain, will be like, it will go in on its own. But it's like, how will it go away on its own? How? It's been there. Pain doesn't just leave. We have to find the problem, right? When it comes to an invisible disability as chronic pain, doctors don't really want to find out because I think the tests are expensive. Or sometimes I think some doctors are just incompetent, to be honest. Like, that's just point blank, How is it living with chronic pain? It's extremely difficult. It has some studies have shown that it can affect your mental health, because think about it, you're in pain 24/7 all the time, and the pain can be very acute and persistent, and it can really hurt. For me, my pain is in my back, but now it's moving into other parts of my body. But yeah, you can imagine how hard it is, especially that it's something that people can't see. When you look at me, I look very healthy, I look fine. It doesn't look like I'm in pain. So it kind of affects sometimes how I wish people would talk to me. Because, for example, even when someone asks me, oh my God, how's your back today? How do you feel today? Are you in pain? Like, it makes me feel so seen and understood in a way, but it doesn't happen often because I look fine. And I didn't know that chronic pain was a disability, but I learned that a couple months ago. So yeah, if you didn't know, now you know. I think now I'm definitely making peace with the medical system here, the Western medical system just being trash and not really seeing me. So after years of like not being heard, I definitely knew I needed to find an alternative way to help me. I started researching. I did do physiotherapy, I did chiro, I did kine, I did osteopathy, but none of them really helped me because they were still very close to the Western perspective of the body and how the body moves and heals itself. So I knew I had to move somewhere else, and I heard about acupuncture. At first I was very hesitant towards it. I was like, I don't know, this seems kind of weird. Mind you, only have this in mind, I'm Haitian. I was born in Haiti, so there's just some things we just don't we're like, Haitians are gonna hate on something until we try it, and then we're like, thought about acupuncture. But look, I kind of knew in my heart that it was something that would probably help me. So I didn't, at first I was calling some places asking, hey, do you do the service? What are the prices and who is performing? Because for me, it is very, wouldn't practice that on me, because I'm very traumatized by the medical system, honestly. I think traumatized is a big word, but I don't have any word right now in my head. So let's keep traumatized. System has really traumatized me, so it's very important for me that if I do see an acupuncturist, that it would be someone who's maybe a person of color, or you know what I mean. So I kind of waited, and one day I hit them up and I went and I tried. The first session wasn't the best because I think for someone like me who's heavily in pain, after one session you probably will not see a huge difference, but I still remember feeling more relaxed after my first session. What I love about acupuncture and the session is that when I go in, my acupuncturist really asked me, you know, where's the pain? She touches me, she, you know, like, because it's, for me, it doesn't make sense how doctors don't touch you and they will know what's wrong with you. It's like, you're not in contact with my body, with my physical body in front of you. It's like, I feel like doctors are just operating on theories, they're operating on books, and they're like trying to put two and two together in their head without never looking at the person in front of them. And like, you know, like, I'm real Dr. Haitian, and then the whole time we're doing the session, you know, there's questions, there's checking in, which makes sense to me. Like, that's what it should be. I don't know, actually I do know that's what it should be. I forgot to mention is that chronic pain is hard to live with, because in my case, because I'm undiagnosed, I don't really know what I have, but I suspect is early stage arthritis. So like, even swimming, writing, things that could look really simple to you can be really kind of excruciating for me. Sometimes even handwriting can hurt. After a couple pages, I'm like, listen, because it will start hurting in my hand. If I'm swimming, my ankles will start hurting, and just simple stuff, really. I could be walking and then I feel something and it's like so I think the doctors cannot really see my arthritis because it's really early and I'm young, so they're most likely to brush it over. But I know you're thinking arthritis is only for old people, but it's not true. Young people can also have arthritis. It's just rare, and it requires more tests and more a doctor that's really looking to find the problem. So my sessions are about $85 for 1 hour. I tend and I prefer doing it week after week. I do recognize that for someone who doesn't have a lot of money, $85 every week can definitely be a lot and can add up. But for me, in my case, having some pain relief is extremely important, especially that I'm not really taking any painkillers. $85 every week just to be able to live better and breathe better and be more relaxed in my day-to-day life is definitely something that I don't mind paying. So that's what I would say. You kind of have to decide for yourself, is this something that you want to pay, or is this something you don't want to pay? So let's talk more about the pain and how really acupuncture helps in a more clear way. So my pain in my day-to-day life can level from 5 to 8 on a scale of 10. That's extremely painful if you don't know. So when I go into the sessions, I can go in with a level 8, and I could live with, honestly, a level 1. I can live the session, and that relief can last a really long time, even to a week. That's why I like doing the sessions week after week, so then the pain can just stay like this. It can be more manageable and easy to live with. I also realized that acupuncture helps with overall my mood and my anxiety. When she pokes me, she definitely tells me she's gonna put some needles for my anxiety, for my thoughts, and even sometimes my digestion, which is just amazing. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm able to find this, you know, way to feel better. I went to the doctor since I was a young child, and it's only now that I'm finding something that is helping me, and it's not even doctors. So it's like, if you're in chronic pain and if you just have anything that you can't find solutions with, and the medical system isn't helping you, try alternative medicine, try something else. Google, you know, like, try something else, because most likely the medical system is just not there. And I think it's so funny to me how, you know, white people have like this arrogance that, you know, their science is the most advanced, their science is all-knowing, and is, you know, I went to the moon type shit. And it's like, that's interesting, because you can't really have my pain, sweetie. Like, but you know, another third world country who came up with that. Yeah, acupuncture is ancient Chinese medicine. I forgot to mention that. Like, another country who you're always shitting on invented something that's helping me, sweetheart. And they've been there. Like, they've been doing that shit for like centuries. It's like, what is really going on, you know? I'm really questioning the medical system. Like, I'm really just here like, what are these people learning? Are they just learning, like, I'm telling you, they're just learning theories. They're just learning A plus A equals B, and they're just doing that. But it's like, nah, sometimes you need to like turn A a little bit. You need to look under it, and then you maybe need to do A minus A. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just, anywho, I'm going on a rant. But okay, guys, I think that's it for my video. I'm extremely happy where I am now in my journey, and I'm being a little bit more hopeful than I used to before. Before I used to be like, I'm always gonna feel like this, but I'm getting a little bit more hopeful. And if you're also suffering from chronic pain, my heart goes to you. I understand you. Like, listen, we're in the same boat. You're not alone. And that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Like, comment, and subscribe, because you know what, it actually helps with the YouTube algorithm. So if you like this channel and you want to see me win, you should like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, that's it. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine.